can't believe it's the same person.
Live on YouTube right now.
Yay!
I don't know about this web. I think I need a new computer, man. Look at how fuzzy we are. I think maybe it's just because we're live. I don't know. All right, let's get this Psycho Bunny business going. Sorry about the armpit, peoples. Psycho Bunny Death Cold. Death Cold.
Here's to you.
Oh. We're going to start talking about horror movies and stuff any second now.
Yeah, any second.
I can feel it.
Did you guys all have a good holiday?
I hope so. How was
out there?
How was your Memorial Day? Are you still social distancing? I'm not.
We never have.
I never really started to begin with. Sorry. Oh, I can hear the dogs already. Yeah, we're crooked. You know. That's going to drive me crazy. There we are.
Drive me crazy.
Fine Young Cannibals. Remember that? That was the jam. I didn't mind it, but they played the fucking shit out of it for like 2 years straight. What's going on, Psycho Buddies? Raven's in the house. How are you?
I can't get it up. There it is.
Well, that's personal. It's a personal problem. I can't help you with that. Did I left my notebook in the other room?
Oh,
son of a bitch.
Great.
2 seconds, and we're gonna get the show on the road.
Hi, pussycats.
Woo! Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hi, Calvin. I don't know where Darian went. Did you guys have a good weekend? Hi, Connor. How's your kitty cats? And he is back.
Did you miss me?
The man of the hour.
No, you did not. Don't lie. Really, she should just do the show by herself, because that's the only reason anybody watches in, is they want to see if she's going to take her shirt off this week.
No, they want to hear my funny jokes.
That's what it is. It's your personality. All right. Should we, is anybody out there seeing?
Hi, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan's in the house. What's up? Hope you're doing well. I want to wish you guys a happy Memorial Day. I know something wrong with you guys. I know something wrong with you, but okay. Hello, I love your chair print. My wife did that, Lana. Hope you enjoy it. Damon's in the house.
Something's wrong with our sound. Oh yeah, last week you guys had something.
Yeah, no, I know what it was. My fault. I forgot to plug in the goddamn speakers. How do we sound this week? Do we sound better? Hi guys. I know something wrong with you guys' sound. I hope it's better. All right, Connor. All right then. Stevesy's in the house. What's up, Stevesy?
Hey, Steve.
It should be better this week. I hope it is. Because last week I forgot to plug in the fucking microphones and you just got iPhone microphone.
I know. I was like, what are you guys doing?
I don't know either. I hope it sounds better this week. It should. No, it doesn't. Motherfuck. Okay, it's going to sound better right now. How about that? Is that better?
Is it working now?
It should be. Fucking hope so.
Are we working?
Turn the volume up on that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, see, it sounds better. It's going to sound better right now. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. Is that better? There it is.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yay.
Now we're in business, Calvin. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize it until after the show was over last week that I didn't put the fucking thing in it. See, I gotta quit drinking before the show, guys. Is what it is. And we haven't. I haven't had anything to drink today.
Me either.
That I'm gonna confess to anyway.
Mm-mm.
So let's do a podcast.
Yes.
About a little movie. We're actually getting ready to close out Odd Mother Month here in the padded room.
With the best movie.
With the best movie of the month, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, quite by and far the better movie out of the.
We go from 1 to 10.
Which one would you say is the one? Colin?
Yeah. What came after Colin?
Something else. Lesbian Vampire Killers.
Oh, yes.
Colin, it was silly.
Colin
it was fucking silly.
Fun.
I'm not drunk, Connor. God damn it. Lesbian Vampire Killers. Did you watch Cruel Peter?
Yes, I did.
That wasn't bad.
I was trying to answer you guys, but you kept missing my post.
Oh, no, we were ignoring you, is what it was. We took it a little personal that you chose to go to the hospital instead of come do the podcast. Apparently, you don't feel very well all of a sudden. Sure, Monica. Whatever you say, sweetie. I think whatever, man. Look, if you don't like us anymore, just tell us. It's fine.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Looking forward to us.
We've been looking forward to you, as a matter of fact. We're big fans of Ryan around these parts.
You know, I thought Cruel Peter was a good storyline.
It was.
I just felt the movie was too dark.
It was very dark.
Like when you can't see shit.
It was very atmospheric, and that sometimes they lay it on a little thick.
Yeah.
And if you try to watch a movie like that during the day, it's hard because you can't see what the fuck is going on most of the time.
Yeah, that was the only disappointing.
Do you think it would make a good franchise? You think if they made a sequel to Cruel Peter? No,
they should just leave it. What are you gonna do for a sequel?
You're gonna move another family into that fucking house, try to fix the goddamn shit, or you just pick up with the girl because remember at the end she was supposedly possessed.
Okay.
Monica is a perfect angel.
I am.
You should have seen her Saturday night there, Connor. She was neither perfect nor an angel.
I can't remember, Connor. What happened?
I'm a little shady on it myself, to be honest with you. Summer's in the house.
Hi, Summer.
All right, let's do a goddamn podcast. Is your microphone on?
Yes, it's
okay.
On. I double checked.
Well done. You did it.
I did it.
You had one job and you pulled it off. All right, here we go. That's right, inmates. We are talking about Catacombs from 2007. This one stars Shannon Sossamon. A lot of horror fans will know that name. She's been around. What do we know her from? Knight's Tale. The Sin Eater. What was that Sin Eater movie with Heath Ledger? The Order. Was it The Order? No.
Look, I just looked her up because she was the girl from One Missed Call. That's what I remember.
Yes, that one also. What was it? 6 Degrees of Separation, where she gets raped and puked on.
Yeah, and
I think she's hot. She's not at the top of my.
She's a cute girl.
Celebrity bang list. Sinister 2.
Yes,
she plays the mom in Sinister 2. She's been around. We know her, and it also stars Alicia Moore, or Pink, the pop star Pink. Now, we'll get to that. And Emil Hostina. So our story picks. Oh, this got what do we got here? 4.6 stars on IMDb, which isn't the worst movie that we've done, but it is better than Cruel Peter, but it's not as good as Lesbian Vampire Killers. Lesbian Vampire Killers got a 5.1.
Why?
I don't know. I'm an ugly potato. Connor, you're not an ugly potato. Jesus Christ. So our story picks up with the epilogue, right? We're actually going to start at the end of the story where we see a bloodied Shannon Sossamon walking out of a Parisian, as in Paris, subway, and she's covered in blood, and we get a little diatribe about how she just arrived in Paris, and 48 hours later, everybody that she knows in Paris is dead. not the entire city, but everybody that she knows, which is a very small group.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, we're going to kick it back to a couple days previous when she's living in Baltimore. And okay, let's start with Shannon Sossamont's character, Victoria. What do you think? Social anxiety? Some kind of she's not all there, I would say. She's taking like weird mood suppressants or something. She's a little on the flippy-do, possibly agoraphobic or claustrophobic, or just not playing with a full deck.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I got a bone to pick about the scene coming up.
Quite a few bones to pick with everybody, all these characters.
I'm the ugliest You are not.
I've seen some ugly potatoes in my day, Connor. I'm telling you right now.
I eat ugly potatoes.
It's true. So she gets a postcard from her sister, Carolyn, who's living in Paris, and the postcard literally says, "Come to Paris, it'll be good for you." So apparently she just got out of a bad relationship or something here in the States. So on a whim, pretty much, she decides to get on a plane and go straight to Paris to hang with her sister. Gets to Paris, immediately starts getting hassled by the French TSA, which are a whole other class of douche nozzles. They're making fun of her because she doesn't speak French. And wasn't the Rules of Attraction on one with Vanderbeek? Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. I've seen this movie, didn't really entertain me much. I get that, Damon. I get that. But we'll get into the crux of the story here. So she gets to Paris, gets hassled by the TSA agents. They're making fun of her because she doesn't speak French. They're also making fun of her because she doesn't know her sister's address or what's going on. She's like, "Sorry, I'm just here. My sister's going to pick me up, and then we're going to go to her place." So they let her go. I think it's kind of like they might have strip searched her. There's like an implication that things got a little weird there. Gets out, gets picked up by her sister. Now we get to meet Pink, her sister Carolyn. Now let's talk about Pink's character, Carolyn, for a moment.
Can we talk about Pink for a second?
Oh, let's talk about Pink, sure.
She did some plastic surgery since this movie.
I don't know why.
Because her face didn't look the same.
I think she was stoned the entire movie. Either that or she is not an actress. She is not. Hey, Beth, how are you? I'm not like a professional critic or anything, but I think I like to think that I know good acting from bad acting. Pink is not an actress.
No.
She looks good. She's a hell of a singer, pop icon, dancer, I think. She dances.
Yeah.
She's something like that. All great at all that stuff. Acting, maybe take a class or something. Because did she look stoned to you the whole time?
No, she could have been.
She just had this kind of
all the time.
Deer in the headlights look about her throughout the whole movie, right? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me.
No, she looked.
Maybe that was part of her character. Maybe that's the direction she was given. Look as stupid as you possibly can.
Yeah, look like a Hollywood hooker.
Okay, great. So there's like a serial killer was in this. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so they get to the apartment, and Pink, or Carolyn, immediately jumps into this backstory about what a creepy old apartment building it is and how there's a serial killer that lived there. So, there's a serial killer. Now, if you're paying attention, you'll immediately understand this story is horseshit and it doesn't make any sense because, as she states, the serial killer was here and they cornered him, but then he killed everybody in the whole building. And then after that, everybody was creeped out, so they moved out. Did he kill everybody in the building or did they move out? Okay. What are you doing here, Pink? You're clearly stoned. That's what I think. They get up to Carolyn's apartment, and it's all dark. And then her roommate throws the light switch and immediately scares the piss out of Victoria, Shannon Sossaman. That's a dick move. Am I wrong? This movie does not paint a very rosy picture, number one, of Paris. Number two, of French people in general. And I'm not saying all French people are bad, but according to this movie, they pretty much are. So I'm sorry about that. There's like three random fuckwads just hanging around Carolyn's apartment, crashing on her couch. I don't know, hanging around in the dark for no fucking reason. Scare the piss out of her. Have a grand time at her expense because she's scared. Also, you'll notice that Carolyn does nothing in defense of her sister. she's like, "Oh, you guys are assholes." Did you see the look on her face? And then that's pretty much it. In the meantime, Victoria is like almost having a panic attack because clearly she's not playing with a full deck, and she's like got to get her mood suppressant pills or whatever the fuck is going on. You would think this is information that a sister might be privy to, and thus call off this dumb shit monkey mask guy in the dark prank.
Oh yeah.
But instead, she was full in on it. I felt like the cement ceiling was going to come down. Guys thought it was funny to torture me. I hate fight areas.
Tight
areas. I get that. This is probably not the movie for you, then, Damon. So, I mean, actually, for like, if you compare this to like The Descent, I'll take the Catacombs over the fucking cave system in The Descent any day of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would much rather just get lost in the dark and starve to death than get eaten by goddamn rat vampire people or whatever those fucking things were. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Okay, so she's like, "Oh God, I'm so." Victoria's like, "Oh my God, I'm so jet lagged, and you fucking asshole friends. Can I just like lay down? Where can I crash in here?" And then here comes Pink. "Oh no, the party's starting in like 10 minutes. We gotta go shopping." So they go. We get like a cool little girls just want to have fun montage where they're riding around on a moped, trying on outfits and stuff. Sisters, and maybe they do actually care for each other in some weird fashion. Don't let this fool you, though, my friends, because no, none of that. So after their trying on clothes montage gets done, and you know they're done with the girls just want to have fun thing, they get back to the apartment. They get ready for this. We're going to a party tonight. It's the party to go to. So she's like, "Come on, man! I just got off the fucking plane. Can you give me 5 minutes?" "No, this is Paris. You don't sleep in Paris." So she didn't actually do that last part. But that's what I felt like she was doing the entire. That's Pink's performance for you. It sounds like a weird movie. It's actually pretty cut and dry there, Beth.
Oh, it's pretty creepy.
It is, but we'll get to that. So they go to this party, or where they think they're going. It's like a big line around the block to get into this party. Now, this is problem number one. I have a few problems with this movie, and I don't mean to shit on it because by and large I enjoyed the movie. But this part right here is a bit problematic because this is a underground rave. And I mean that in both senses of the word. It's highly illegal, and the rave itself is actually happening underground. Yet there's a line pretty much blocking traffic to get into it. So why aren't the police already there? I mean,
that's a good question.
And the whole point, like the whole time, it's like, oh. And so Carolyn is fucking, I guess, the bouncer or one of the organizers of this little event. So she gets to go to the front of the line, goes, like, of course, it's in the catacombs. So they get handed flashlights, and then they go down some stairs and into a sewer and down a big, long hallway. And, you know, once they get down there, there's another line that they have to wait in. And we find out that the other organizer, not Carolyn's boyfriend, another fucktard named Jean Michel, is like a wanted criminal, and he's written about the papers. He's the one that really organizes this thing. But they can never catch them because they never throw the rave in the same part of the catacombs. So it makes them very, very hard to catch, despite the hundreds of people standing outside waiting to get into this thing.
Yeah.
Where could they possibly be? So you're going to tell me, and again, this is just something that I picked up on. You basically have to crawl into a manhole cover to get down to this place. There's hundreds of people randomly standing outside a manhole cover to get into the place, and none of the police find that suspicious at all. I just thought, just something that occurred to me.
Good catch.
Just saying. But eventually they get down there, and it's a rave, and I would say the rave is probably about the size of a high school gym, which, you know, makes sense. I mean, it's in the fucking catacombs, right? And on the way down, of course, Carolyn gives Victoria the whole history of the catacombs. You know, Paris ran out of room to bury their dead, so they decided to dig out all the old dead people up and just kind of stick them in this old mine, and then bury the new dead people in the cemeteries.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that part. And mind you, I have no knowledge of the catacombs or their actual history. But I've seen like footage of the actual catacombs. Why do you suppose they decided to start parting out the dead bodies? Because it seemed to me that they had like all the skulls over here, all the shin bones over there, all the rib cages over there. Why would you do that? Why would you not just keep them?
I wondered if it was because they were trying to keep a pattern of like the walls.
Okay, I'll buy
know?
that. Sure. Yeah.
Because if you just start putting, bodies up, it's not going to look right.
Yeah, and if you're already going for a catacomb, why not go all Art Deco with it? Turn it into some kind of a theme attraction. I don't know. So they get down there, they get into the actual rave itself. Now, again, I don't want to be a stickler for the details, but this is supposed to be an underground rave, some kind of an illegal operation. They've got a full working bar.
That's what I was just going to bring up.
Yeah, a full working bar, this industrial light stereo AV system. Okay, so how did they get all that shit down there without anybody noticing? I don't know, man. And again, maybe I'm just overthinking this, but you would think that would have taken months to like piecemeal down there, get the whole shit set up. You got to get an AV guy involved in this. You got to hope he keeps his fucking mouth shut. You got to hire bartenders. You got to start smuggling the booze down, and then you got to bring in all the tables and get all the shit set up. And mind you, this wasn't like a couple of dudes with bottles. This was like a full functioning bar.
And they had a stage too.
Yeah, stage, all that shit, dancers and cages. It looked like the Titty Twister.
Yes, it did.
Except for like French douchebags, who like EDM. So, but again, this is supposed to be an illegal operation. Now, I would be perfectly willing to blow past all of this, except the fact that it's an illegal operation plays a major part in the story later. So we'll get to that much later, as a matter of fact. We'll get to that in a second. So they get down there, they get to doing their dance, EDM dance, and Jean-Michel gets up on stage and makes this very pretentious, douchey fucking monologue about we need to appreciate life because we are closer to death. You cannot truly appreciate life unless you realize that you are so close to death at every moment. That's why we party in the catacombs.
Okay.
All right, just get the fuck off the stage, you asshole. I'm probably going to get arrested by the end of the night. I didn't come down here to listen to you blather on. I came down here to get hammered and probably strike out with the ladies, which is kind of my thing that I do at the clubs. But
Beth, you can watch this on Tubi.
Tubi TV, absolutely free. I believe it's also on, if you want to watch it without commercials, you can watch it on Amazon Prime, I believe. So we get this fucking horseshit speech. And then the dancing starts, and Carolyn starts having another freak out moment because she's like all cramped in there and it's hot and fucking. I'm gonna go get some water. In the meantime, Carolyn is making out with another chick, which is kind of hot. She goes and gets to the bar and she's like screaming over, trying to get the bartender, "Give me some water!" And everybody's bumping into her and shouting over her. And then of course here comes Jean-Michel, the White Knight. I realized I went into German there a little bit. He's like, "You don't have to drink here." And she's like, "What? You don't have to drink here. You drink with me. Come with me." And, you can see her panties are dripping wet because he's French. He's a bit of a douche nozzle. And he's got, like, bracelets and stuff. Chicks love bracelets on men. Or at least these chicks do. I don't know. What do you think? Men with bracelets?
No.
No? Okay, no. Well, other chicks that I know, I think. I got Roku. It's got Tubi. There you go. It's right there. It's on Tubi, Damon. Carolyn, Victoria, Hugo, Carolyn's boyfriend, Jean-Michel, and like 4 or 5 other dickbags go off to this little side room, which is set up like a. I think of like a weird opium den when they get to this other room, right? Because like all the furniture is super plush, all clean, mind you. It's not like they found it down there. It's got like a chandelier and it's hanging and it's the electricity.
It's like private office.
Yeah, motherfucker. This is supposed to be an illegal operation. Unless this was like 4 years in the making and he's been smuggling shit down there all by himself for the whole time. I don't know, man. But just bear in mind, he's got like his own little side office, which is like a pussy den that he's got going on. They all get in there. They're all, of course, they start drinking absinthe because that's the most pretentious fucking thing you can do. I'm slowly turning myself against French people. And this movie is really because all these guys are assholes. Uh, your Pepe Le Pew impersonation is spot on. Thank you, Clay. I've been working on that specifically for this movie.
Yeah, I think the French hate us anyway.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. So he gets in there, and again, with the, oh, we need to appreciate death. Here we have some absinthe. And Carolyn's like, oh my God, she doesn't drink. Oh, but then she drinks it anyway. Pounds it, mind you.
I know. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell us what's on your mind, Mom.
When I am with a group of strangers that I don't know, and my sister is a hateful cunt, I'm not going to pound alcohol and do drugs with a bunch of strangers because I'm going to get raped.
Probably.
I know it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless you're.
This bitch was an idiot.
If you want to get raped, then just say, hey, I would like to have sex with somebody in a weird, violent fashion.
Yeah. If
you don't have to get.
We can just go do it.
Yeah, dude. We don't need to bring narcotics into this equation.
Yeah.
It's completely out of character, and I think this was a writing flaw in the movie. She just grabs the absinthe and pounds it, and then she starts getting the swirls. I'm in a French dungeon doing drugs with a bunch of horny fuckers. Yeah. So, and this part really, well, it didn't piss me off, but they're like, do you want to go swimming? And she's like, I don't know. And Pink, of course, sister, do you ever get tired of being the lamest person in the room? So, of course, they go to this bizarro underground swimming hole in the Parisian catacombs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so.
Now, I would like to believe that that was like water that they were swimming in, but let's be honest. If it's in the Parisian catacombs, it's a mixture of sewage and dead guy juice is what it is. And these motherfuckers just disrobe completely, jump into it as if you're not going to get an infection in your pee hole from swimming in dead body juice. Mm-hmm. And then they have the gall to make fun of her because she's like, I'm not going swimming. That's gross. But imagine what that place smelled like.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. I'm not swimming in there.
Going up your vagina. Mm-mm.
Up her vagina? No way. Terrible. Terrible. Bad idea. That's a yeast infection. If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Good. Best possible scenario, yeast infection. Worst possible scenario, some kind of like a necrotic situation. Your vag lips are just gonna fall out. The whole thing. I don't know. I don't even know how it works. Disgusting. So eventually, she's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna go back to the party. And they're like, we're not gonna tell you where the party is. You're just gonna have to stumble around the catacombs. She's like, just tell me where it is. And one of the French fucktards gives her one of these, this way. Boy, that is fucking hilarious. He went full Wile E. Coyote on us there for a second. So she's like, all right, go eat my ass, you fuckers. And she just goes walking off into the catacombs trying to find her way back to the party. Pink at this point is like, wait, no, you're going to get lost. Get back here. So she goes stumbling after her, eventually catches up to her, and she's like, come on, I'll take you back to the party, you lame bitch. They make like a couple of turns, go down a couple hallways, and then Pink's flashlight goes out. And she's like, I got a road flare right here. Now, before we go any further, we have to bring it back to when they were in the dumb shit sex apartment underground thing, where we got a nonsensical backstory about a cult that had supposedly taken up residence in the catacombs, and they were trying to bring about the Antichrist, so they had a baby out of incest, and then they kept it in the catacombs and only fed it raw meat, and then they turned it loose, and it killed all the cult members, and it's still supposedly running around the catacombs wearing a goat skull for a face, for a mask. So that part was actually pretty heavy metal, because there was like a little flashback scene with like some metal priests and hot chicks in weird corpse paint. I thought that's probably the best part of the whole movie. But so now we've kind of put that idea in her head. So they're walking around. Pink like pulls out the road flare. It's like, wait a minute, do we go this way or that way? I know my way around here. Don't tell me what way to go, because I know. And then here comes our goat-headed friend, comes out, knocks Pink down, and then Victoria is like scrambling, trying to get the road flare. Smokes all over the place. All you see is like the Pink, the goat face guy like scrambling. And then when Victoria gets a hold of the road flare, Pink's dead, and she's got her throat torn open. Oh my god! Oh my god! So now Victoria grabs the road flare and she goes just hauling ass off into the catacombs by herself. Okay, all right. Well, that fucking sucks.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
I mean, I could see the panic in the moment. Here's this big goat-faced fucker and my dead sister. So yeah, I'm gonna want to get the fuck out of there.
I know. Why would you go back the way that you came from?
Well, she didn't know what the fuck. It's a.
That,
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
well, if you weren't high as fuck
on
or
absinthe,
drunk,
yeah.
No.
And if your sister wasn't a complete ass weasel, which she is, and we will get into that in a moment. I understand what you're saying, because if you look at that scene and the way it looked to me, like she literally just came out of the weird dead body juice chamber, went down a hallway, made a quick right to like a crossroads, and then that's where it all went down. So really, all she had to do was make a left, backtrack, and she would have been right back there where all the skinny dipping was happening. So instead, she just goes hauling ass in a random direction. What? Okay, I'll say she's panicked and a little absinthe out, whatever you want to call that, and she's clearly on other medication. So she just goes taking off. So now we get a cool little, about a 10 to 15 minute sequence of cat and mouse with this goat-headed guy. At one point, he like chases her into his lair, which has a bunch of chickens in it. Where the fuck is this guy getting chickens? I have no idea. They're like in cages too. Does he have like a chicken dealer that he hooks up with twice a week? I don't know, but they're alive. But more to the point, where is he getting the bird seed? I don't care. Again, I'm overthinking this. So she like gets in there. He chases her in there. He starts like banging around, he's got a generator in there, so he turns the lights on. She ducks behind some chicken wire with the chickens, and he can't get through the chicken wires, so she gets out of there in one piece, kind of, and then goes trying to find the goddamn party.
Right.
Quick right, quick left. She's still got the road flare. She can hear the music, and eventually she comes to like a weird skull wall where she can see like the strobe lights and hear the people on the other side. So she's like, "Oh my god, help me!" Tries climbing over the skull wall. Just as the dude coming around, he's like, "Hey, there's that. I'm gonna fucking kill her."
He got the chickens from KFC.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know they had that in Paris. You're probably right, Damon. Sure. Why not? Goat-headed guy. Yes, Brent. It was a guy with a goat head mask, man. I don't know. He didn't have a name, I don't think, did he?
No, he was Goat Man.
Goat Man.
Yeah.
He's a big goat man.
Goat Man.
He looked like he was probably 6'5" or so. But chases her down. She's trying to jump over the goddamn skull wall to get back to the party, and he's like pulling her with her feet. But she makes it through, and she's all freaked out. She's trying to, "Oh my god, help me, get me out of here!" Everybody's just continuing partying, and with the EDM music and all that shit. But then she spots Jean-Michel and Hugo and all those guys who have apparently decided to not be skinny dipping in dead guy juice. So he's like, "Hey, my sister's dead," but they can't hear her. So they're like, "Hey, come over here," like reaching across.
Yes, Troy, I feel better. Thank you.
She's out of the hospital.
Yeah.
There, Troy. So out of the hospital, as she likes to put it, which means
just get my gallbladder.
You should. Yeah. That's what I've been telling you. An underground KFC. Okay, well, these were live chickens, Clay. I don't know. I mean, you normally can't buy a live chicken from KFC. At least, can you? I don't know. Maybe there's like a southern KFC that they just keep the chickens in the back.
These chickens came from that other movie.
Which one?
What was that called with Martin Sheen?
Oh, I don't know. And there was chickens involved.
Movie.
Oh, The Believers. Yeah. That was a good fucking show. That was a good show. We should do a voodoo month.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's the part with the thing in the face. All right. Anyway, so she's reaching out to them, and they're reaching out to her through the crowd. And just as they manage to grab her, the police raid the fucking rave. Okay. So again, this is an illegal rave. You would think the crowd of hundreds of people waiting to get into a manhole cover would have set this whole thing in motion much sooner and possibly saved Pink's life. But that's neither here nor there. So they raid the rave. People are running and screaming and everything, freaking out. One chick gets trampled in the thing. Now, I don't know anything about the catacombs, but I know there's a lot of them, and there's like a lot of area that hasn't even been explored and stuff like that. You would think if you're the cops and you're going to raid a rave that's happening in the catacombs, in the interest of public safety, you may just want to wait till the rave is over and then catch them as they're coming out, right? Because if you run down there, everybody's going to scatter, and then there's going to be dead kids on ecstasy just all over underneath Paris, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, hey now. Just because you don't like EDM doesn't mean that everybody that does is some kind of.
I do like that kind of music.
Do you?
Actually. Yeah.
Would you go to a rave in the catacombs?
No, I don't want to go to a rave.
No rave.
No.
Even if it's in the catacombs.
No, I'm over that shit.
I would go just because I want a skull from the catacombs.
Oh, I thought you would go just to see some ass.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna chat up some ladies while I'm down there. You know, I'm a functioning heterosexual man. I'm gonna hey, how are you? That's a nice goggle situation you got there. Anyway. So everybody just scatters, and then one chick, like they're trampling over each other. Victoria's on her way out. She's following the other guys, Jean-Michel, and like she gets like right down the tunnel where she came in, and somebody or something just comes out of around a corner and boom, knocks her out. Okay, here's another problem I have with this movie. Cops raid the rave. Okay, I'm with you. I get you. I got you so far. You would think that after the rave was over, they would want to do like some kind of a sweep. Say, is there anybody else down here? Because we can help you get out of here if you're lost or you're stuck. But apparently, they just ran in, ran right back out, and locked the place down. And if you're stuck in there, then fuck your face, because that's where you're going to be. Because they just left her ass down there. She wakes up, I don't know, maybe an hour or two later. It's now pitch black. She can see the tunnel. She's like, oh, that's where I go to get out. I'll just stagger right out of here. But now there's a gate over it, and it's fucking chained shut and locked with a padlock. Oh. You'll get lost in the catacombs, very labyrinthy. Yeah, I agree, Troy, which is, why you probably don't want to go down there and do drugs.
The chicken guy from the Devil's Rejects.
Oh,
that was cool.
Charlie Altamont. I love it. It was Ken Foray. I love Charlie. He was my favorite guy out of the Devil's Rejects. So he'll sell you chickens, but don't act like you're gonna fuck him, because then he won't sell them to you. Anyway, she wakes up, pitch black. She's pounding on the gate. All right, let me out of here. So she was literally like, I don't know, maybe 25 meters from the gate. So whoever it was that closed and locked the gate probably could have seen her. Be like, hey, there's a dead or unconscious Shannon Sossamon over there. Why don't we go ahead and bring her out? Can ask her some questions. Instead, they just left her there. She comes to pitch black, doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Luckily, finds a flashlight, and now she's got to try to find a different way out of the catacombs. So she starts off by drawing little arrows in the dirt to remember which way she went and counting her steps. So I'm not sure what the point of the counting of the steps was, because she comes to a dead end and then she stops counting and starts over. So that's not really going to help with navigation so much. It's just going to help you know how many steps you took. So really that process could have been solved with a Fitbit, but that's still not going to help you get the fuck out of the catacombs. Anyway, I don't know what the thought process was there, but pretty soon we start with the weird visions, and here comes Goat Guy again. We don't know, because she's number one, high on absinthe or drunk on absinthe. I don't know how that works. Absinthe is supposed to be a hallucinogenic, right?
I have no idea.
I tried it once. It tastes like shit, and it didn't even. I was fine. Maybe I did it wrong.
Where do you get it from?
You can get it. Marilyn Manson has his own brand of absinthe. Tastes like ass. It must be an acquired taste. I didn't do that shit with the sugar cube, though. I couldn't figure that out. I was like, I'll just drink it and see how that works.
I don't think I need that in my life.
I don't think I do either. It tastes like ass. If it tasted good, I might be into it. But that's some kind of an alcohol. It's called Mansith. If anybody wants to give it a shot, let me know if I did it wrong or if you hallucinated. I would love to hallucinate. I just didn't get to that point, I guess. She's walking around. Eventually, she comes to like a grate, and then she like, oh, here's a metal door. This must go somewhere. Opens it up. There's a giant spiral staircase, like metal. So she starts going up the spiral staircase. She's like, hey, this is going to get me somewhere. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. And then it takes her to like a sewer grate, which is locked. So she's like, screaming at the people on the street, hey, I'm in the goddamn sewer. Can you help me, please? In doing so, she drops the flashlight. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the staircase. Huh. American absinthe doesn't have wormwood in it. Europe has the top stuff. Is that what you need to hallucinate? Is the wormwood?
Yeah, I remember reading about wormwood. I didn't realize that's what it was.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. I guess Marilyn Manson doesn't have the wormwood either. All right, so
he doesn't even have a worm in his pants.
You know this from your personal. Are you friends with Marilyn? Did you date like in the 80s or something? It wouldn't surprise me. She's from LA. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if that was true. But so the flashlight goes all the way down to the bottom. She's like, oh, fuck. Well, I don't need it because I'm about to get out of the sewer grate. She's like, hey, get me out of the sewer. And pretty soon, as she's looking down, the fucking light starts moving around. Like somebody down there picked it up and is now like looking up at her. So she's like, oh, fuck. Here comes Goat Face again. I got to get the fuck out of here. So as she's going down, the other guy's, whoever it is coming up. And she's like, yeah, hey, get away from me. And the guy just starts making fun of her because she doesn't speak French. Now, that's some very un-Goat Face, like, behavior there.
Yeah.
Goat Face ain't going to make fun of you. He's just going to kill you, I think.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Sorry I'm late. Had to put the little ones to bed. Oh, okay. No worries, odd mother. So she's like, oh, fuck. Gets down there and realizes it's just another French asshole, really. And he's making fun of her because she doesn't speak French. And she's like, you just get me the fuck out of here, please. And he's like, hey, oui, get you out of here. So he's got like a little dinky flashlight. So he gives that to her and he takes her big flashlight. So now they're walking around together. It looks like we're making progress here. We're going somewhere. And then they get to like another one of these mysterious rooms full of junk. So he gets in there and he just decides we're going to camp out here. Why are we camping out? Well, shouldn't we get out of here? So he's like builds them a little bonfire, finds some random booze from a shelf with dust, and he's like, so he like via the language barrier, he introduces himself as Henri or Henry. She's like, oh, I'm Victoria. Nice to meet you, Henri. She starts to nod off. And by nod off, I mean like that. Wakes up, Henri is gone. She's like, don't leave me here, Henri, no! And he's like, I think he drank both bottles or whatever he found because he actually just stumbled off to take a piss. He comes back and now he's hammered. And he's like trying to kiss her, and she's like, no, I'm not going to do that with you French guy.
Yeah, you don't look like Tom Hardy.
No, he looked like a stinky guy, Henri. He looked like he had an odor about him. I'm not one to judge, but I'm usually pretty good at spotting stinky guys.
No, Troy, it's Catacombs.
I kind of hook up. They're back on the move. Henri is hammered, and she's like, I really want to get out of here. Henri has a map, sort of. It's like I think it was like a street map that showed the streets of Paris, and it kind of gave him an idea of where they were under Paris. So,
which is weird.
I don't know how that's helpful exactly, but if you read French and you know the city, it might help you get you to like a subway or something. I don't know, man. Whatever you're looking for. But she's following him around. He comes to like a weak spot in the floor. Oh shit! Exposed bone.
Yeah.
Now, he's got the flashlight, the real flashlight, the big one, and the map. And she's like, okay, Henri, give me your hand. I'm going to help you. And, Shannon's awesome. She's got arms the size of these microphone stands.
My arms.
Skinnier, I would say. Yeah, that makes sense. And she's going to try and pull this 200 drunk asshole out of a fucking hole in the ground with a leg that's cracked in half. So she's like, and then he falls down again. And there's more and more blood coming out of his leg. So finally, she gets wise to this little maneuver. And she's like, okay, we're going to try 2 hands this time. Give me both hands. And he reaches up with both hands, and she just grabs the flashlight and the map, and she's like, "I'm sorry, bye." And he's like, "Oh, Victoria!" Ooh. So she takes off. She leaves him, and that's pretty shitty. I like to think she was going to do the right thing and come back for him, or at least send somebody back to help him. Can't say for sure though, because I don't know. So again, she goes off into the dark with her map and her flashlight. I mean, despite the fact that she left a guy there to die, she's in pretty good shape. Somehow gets turned around and ends up right back where she was with a hole in the floor. And she's like, "Henri, are you okay? I think I got turned around." She looks in the hole. He's gone. Oh, shit. Oh, let's sees the blood down there. What the fuck is that? I don't know. She's like looking around, and then he like crawls out of a hole in the floor and like grabs her by the ankle. And says, "Oh no, what are you doing?" He knocks her down and is like choking the life out of her. So she has to grab the flashlight and kill him. She basically killed him, right? She beat him over the head with the flashlight, killed him.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. She does the Family Guy knee pain. Yeah. Ooh. 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 It's the same. You know what I'm talking about, Mother. So now she's a killer. She's got blood on her. She goes walking off again. Things get pretty scary again with the left and the right. She doesn't know where the fuck she is, and it's scary. Gets to like she comes across like pipelines running along the ceiling. And she's like, "Oh, look at this shit. Maybe it goes to a sewer or something." So she goes into like a very small hole in one of the walls. So she climbs up there, climbs into the hole, and she sees like a bunch of boards where they go up into something. So she's like, "Oh, fuck." Goes back, finds a pickaxe, goes back and smashes a hole in the boards, and immediately a bunch of rats come pouring down on her. So she's like, "Oh, shit." She's got to back herself out of the little hole. All the rats come pouring out. She's like, "Oh, that really sucked." But now she goes back, crawls through, and now she's like, "Okay, this is like a building that I'm under here." So this part is kind of wacky because she goes like exploring the building. It's a big boiler, like factory basement looking type of a thing. A lot of machinery and stuff. Looks like somebody would be in there eventually. So you'd think she's in good shape. This is where things get stupid. So she goes up there and she finds a door, and she's like, "Oh, there's lights on the other side of the door. It's got to lead somewhere." So she starts she tries the door. It's locked. So she starts hitting the door with the pickaxe. She knocks the lock off, and she's like, "Okay, I'm going in." But then some guy just looks through the window of the door, and that freaks her right out. Now she can't see who it is. To me, it looked like a guy with a mustache.
Yeah.
She did. The guy just literally, "Hey, going on?
What's going on?
What's going on in there?" She goes, "Ah!" Takes off running right back into the fucking catacombs.
Why? Why?
I would be offering that guy oral sex to get me the fuck out of here. I will suck your wee wee, sir. You just get me out of this goddamn giant tomb that I'm stuck in with the fucking goat face guy.
Yeah.
Instead, she takes off, goes running right towards the goat face guy. Goes right back into the catacombs, right past all the skulls and the bones and the fucking horse shit. Runs right through the area where the rave was. It's all dark and there's nobody there now. Runs right into the weird dead guy skinny dipping area. And she's like, "Oh," it actually falls off like the cliff she was sitting on because she's not paying attention to where the fuck she's going. Splashes down into the dead guy juice. Swims up. Now there's like somebody's yelling something. But she's so, I guess, freaked out and still high on the absinthe that she isn't really paying attention to what they're saying, I guess, or is just too scared to even think about it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But splashes down, starts crawling up to get out of the weird skinny dipping area. And like other people are coming down, and that's where like they kind of bump into each other, but she goes like rushes right past the dude. Now, she doesn't stop to look at the guy that she just flew past. And for the purposes of this part of the movie, we see somebody's chasing her, but we don't see anything from above like ankle height. So all we see is like boots running and, lights from people, like somebody with a flashlight, I guess. So it could be, I guess, our Goatman guy to us. but she literally just ran right past him. She would have to realize that wasn't the goat man. Right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying here, people, and I'm not saying I hate this movie. This is just something to think about. So she runs. Her flashlight officially dies. So she's like, "Oh fuck." She still has her pickaxe though. Somebody's chasing after her, so somebody comes around a corner and she just swings wild with the pickaxe and knocks him the fuck out or something. Makes contact with whoever it was. And she just kind of crumples to the floor and she's like, oh no, no, oh my God. Now, here comes all of the French fuckwads from the beginning of the movie. To include Pink, her sister, who is not, in fact, dead. She's just a bad actress and not much of a jokester, I would say. Yeah. So here comes Pink. She's like, sis, we were just fucking with you, man. And she's got like blood on her, like, it's just part of an initiation because we want to make sure that you're cool with dead guy stuff. And now, of course, Shannon Tassaman is just bawling her eyes out. Here comes the rest of them, and they're like, "Hey, you made it! You're one of the worshippers of the dead, or whatever. What was it? The cult of the Black Virgin."
Yeah, now that she's murdered someone too.
Well, we haven't quite figured that. Well, I mean, we're not even going to bring up Henri.
Yeah, that
guy. That happened. But on top of that, whoever it was that she just swung the fucking pickaxe at. So they're all like patting her on the back. You made it. Oh, congratulations. And she's just bawling her eyes out. And then they look over and they see the dead body of Jean-Michel, who has taken a pickaxe to the face.
Wow.
Shocking. Who'd have thought chasing a girl around in the catacombs could have gotten dangerous?
And by this time, she's already lost her mind.
I would be so ticked off at my family. I agree with you, Beth. But this is where things get particularly cunty. Because as soon as Pink, Carolyn, sees the dead body of Jean-Michel, she doesn't like, oh, this was a bad idea. Oh, this was a really bad idea. We shouldn't have done any of this. She immediately freaks out and starts yelling and screaming at Victoria. How could you do it? You're so stupid. You're so fucking stupid. Look what you did. She walks over and grabs Carolyn by the hair and like starts pulling her over to the dead body of Jean-Michel. And that's where Carolyn just kind of goes full on rampage, grabs the pickaxe, kills her sister, kills all the French ass weasels, and then goes walking out of the subway into the midday afternoon covered in blood. Yay. Gets in a cab to go to the airport. And that's the end of your movie, man.
Fantastic.
What did you think of Catacombs, baby doll?
I only had one problem with this movie.
What was that?
Too much screaming.
A lot of screaming.
Like, it was upsetting me.
Okay.
Like, I was like, dude, I gotta walk away. This bitch keeps screaming. I'm just gonna tear the fucking house apart.
Well, I mean, you're stuck in the catacombs. That is scary. And really, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Well, at some point, a reasonable person would realize that screaming isn't going to get me anywhere.
Somebody might hear you, right? I mean, I would like to think that I could somehow find my way back, but if I'm in the fucking dark, right? How are you going to find your way back in the dark? Oh, here's the skull with two eyes. I remember that. I don't know, man.
I don't have to worry about it because I would.
Don't go in the fucking catacombs.
Yeah.
I would take a guided tour. If there's like a $25 tour.
And you know what?
And it came with a souvenir skull.
This place should have like a rope.
Yeah, put some lights down there, why don't you?
They did have lights.
Yeah, at one point.
Yeah, they did have
lights. Which brings me to the next question of how this illegal rave was taking place to begin with. How much do I have to donate to get a month's worth of movie reviews? Do you take EBT cards? No, we do not take EBT or food stamps, James. I'm sorry. I don't think Patreon does that.
You could send us dog food. We need 50-pound bags of dogs.
She needs 50-pound bags. Her dogs are huge. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah.
It's
fucked up.
I gotta tell you, Pink kind of killed this movie for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She is not an actress. She's not. She's very attractive. She can sing her fucking face off, dances. I would definitely have sex with her, but she's not an actress. And I'm not saying she couldn't be an actress. She needs to take a class or two or something because she looked completely stoned the entire movie. She was monotone all the way across, right?
Yeah. This was probably when she
This is 2007, so this was like a third album, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe when she was dating Tommy Lee in real life.
Was she dating Tommy Lee at one
Yeah,
point?
she left her husband for a while.
And that explains it. She was taking the Tommy Lee dick, man. You've seen the size of that thing. She probably fucked her stupid, and now she's forgetting her lines. And, you know, that thing is huge. It's ridiculous. Other than that, it's a good show. I like the Catacombs. I thought that's a hell of a fucking setting for a horror movie, right?
Yes. I think I like the other one better.
Which one?
The one
As Above, So Below?
Yes,
I like that one better too. Yeah.
Just because you saw more and they went further in.
Yeah.
That one, I think that one's a better version.
I would agree.
If you want to see a Catacombs.
I would agree. And the whole idea of like having this archaeological aspect where they think there's a relic down there, which is cool. It's a cool little thing to do. They laid it on a little thick with the French douchebaggery, you know? These French guys were certified asshats. And, you know, like from start to finish. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? He got what he deserved.
He did. They all did. Fuck him. And so did Pink, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
How do you treat your sister like that?
Got killed for real.
You're gonna tell me she did know. She did know that she had some kind of psychological issues because at that scene in the apartment, she's like, "Oh, you're on medication. What's that for?" And she's like, "Oh, I get headaches." Oh, maybe let's not ditch her in the catacombs of Paris. Just saying. I'm just throwing ideas out.
Yeah, that would be like taking your sister to the catacombs who's terrified of the dark.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, why
unless you want her to die. You know, if you need her to die of a heart attack for some kind of an insurance thing, okay, now that's probably a good idea. Yeah. But if you are the sister and you're terrified of the dark, why would you volunteer to go to the catacombs?
Yeah.
You know, hey, what's the scariest environment imaginable that I would be absolutely terrified? Catacombs of Paris. Let's go there. I hear there's great parties that are illegal and we could possibly get lost at any moment.
Mine would be diving.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm not going diving in the ocean. Fuck you.
My scariest environment, an abandoned prison. Fuck you all up.
Why?
Those are the ghosts.
Oh my god!
Hey, no, ghosts are scary. Number one, number two, ghosts of fucking criminals, dude.
They can't hurt you.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I know that they can't touch you.
I can point to some movies where there is some ghost touching. All kinds of weird shit, Monica.
Well, that I only know of one, and that is The Entity. That's the only one.
That's the only one that matters. Man.
But you're a man, so you don't have to worry.
Well, I mean, you know, if I'm gonna be wined,
they might like you though.
Wined and dined by an entity.
Yeah.
Where do I go
James?
Where do I go to get jerked off in this prison? Anyway, what is there, jerk off chamber? All right, you fucking. We're gonna take us a little break. We'll come back with some other stuff. All right, that's a wrap for the podcast, boys and girls. Thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
We are going to join you next week with The Last Man on Earth.
The Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
What year?
Off the top of my head, I think it was 56, starring Vincent Price. I could be wrong about the year, though.
And that is the original.
That is the original. Screenplay later adapted into The Omega Man, Charlton Heston, and I Am Legend with Will Smith. I think the Vincent Price version is the best version. It's the one that's closest to the original Richard Matheson screenplay. So put that in your memory bank. Same time next week, we'll be here. What was I going to say? Last Man. Oh, it's available. It's actually public domain. We're going to do a public domain month in June. So if anybody wants to see The Last Man on Earth, it's readily available on YouTube or archive. .org, I believe, is the website for all of your public domain movies. All of our movies for this month are going to be public domain.
Yay!
So thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
PaddedRoomPodcast.com. Find out anything you need to know about us there. Patreon campaign, all that fucking shit. You'll love it over there. Have a wonderful guys. Seeing you. Stay safe. You too, Ryan. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Mother.
Ryan.
Thank you
Thanks,
again.
everybody.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.